With only 2 races remaining in the One-Up Nitro National Series regular season, the tension could not be any higher. And we head to Kansas Speedway for the penultimate race of the regular season under the lights for 67 laps. What could possibly be better for a great night of racing here at the Kansas Speedway? And alongside me to bring you all the action, well, I'm very excited to welcome back Duke Ansack to the booth for the first time in a while. Great to have you back with us, and there couldn't be a better place to return for some great racing action than here at Kansas.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fantastic race at Kansas Speedway. This track always puts up a fantastic showing for all these Nitro National Series drivers. I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to watch some racing here at Kansas. It's going to be a lot of fun, high-banked, high-speed action all day with only 2 races left until the playoffs. You were right. There isn't a better race to be watching than this one right now.
Absolutely, and we've got a lot of drivers in or around that cut line battle up at the front for the start of this race. And since speaking of which, we can now bring you that starting lineup right now. All 42 drivers ready to go. Riley Hooper gets his first pole position of 2024. He's got Ryan Griffin alongside him. Both these drivers are currently in the top 12 as they run. Henry Thomas lines up third, always a good qualifier, but can he seal the deal to get that first win in the Nitro National Series at last? He starts third. Eric Monaco, Jensen Nomina complete the top 5, followed by the 2 Crossroads cars. So this is going to be pretty interesting. We've got a lot of drivers around the cut line starting up front, so expect that bubble battle to really tighten up as this race unfolds.
Absolutely, and tighten up is an interesting way to describe it because it is already so close. I mean, we've got probably 5 or 6 drivers within about 20 points of each other right there on the bubble for the playoffs. So we'll be following that throughout this race and following drivers like Jensen Namina and Robert Weaver, Elijah Ironhouse, Earl Sear. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys battle for that. I mean, it is going to be tooth and nail with so few races left. Everybody wants to make the playoffs. Everybody feels like they need to make the playoffs this season. And it is going to be fantastic to see what lengths they go to try to gain every point possible in this race here at Kansas.
So with that being said, we have 42 drivers ready to get the show on the road here at Kansas, and we're ready to bring you that action now. For 2024, the regular season's getting ready to wind down. It's the One-Up Nitro National Series under the lights at Kansas Speedway, and the green flag getting ready to get this great race underway. So stay tuned, folks, because you're not going to want to miss a second of the action set to unfold here tonight. Getting ready for some great racing under the lights at Kansas. It is Hooper and Griffin leading us to the green flag, which is now out in the air. We're underway at Kansas. Riley Hooper down on the flat of the track, trying to get as much space between himself and the field as possible. Look at that, they're already spreading out several rows deep as we head off into turn 1.
And I'll tell you what, that move absolutely worked for Riley Hooper down on the flat, gained a ton of time and is now clear for the lead. Everybody else in this field, meanwhile, absolutely not clear. They're 3 wide much of this racetrack down the back straightaway going into turn 3, and it looks like it's the 12. Henry Thomas has gone up into that second position now. And look at this tight out of the corner. Wow, this mid-pack battle is incredible.
And Alexa Lushon's fought her way up to third in this race, but we've already got caution on the speedway to slow the action down on the first lap, and it looks as though it's the 81 of Mark Davey making his second start in a row in the Nitro National Series to put us under the caution flag for the first time tonight. But realistically, with the cars going that all out in the opening lap, we kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised it wasn't bigger. It looks like this was a bit of a mild accident as far as it goes in the front straightaway, it seems. But yeah, that 81, this was towards the back of the field. 81, Mark Davies started all the way back in the 34th position. Cycling through the field here to see if anybody else was involved.
I think the 03, Skylar Taylor, may have been caught up in this as well. They started 32nd today. So I think it all started right around that area. Yeah, you can see them both at the back now. As it looks as though we're making our way back to the front. Riley Hooper continues to lead, of course. So it looks as though the field's already getting ready to make a pit stop.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting fuel strategy option for several of these drivers. or all of these drivers actually. They're all coming in on a pit stop here on lap 3 of the race. The caution seemed inevitable, 3-4 wide racing on lap 1 of this race here at Kansas. I mean, that's just how it is. It's a really, really fast, wide track. So the accident luckily wasn't worse than it was. We'll get a replay soon after the pit stops occur. Riley Hooper's going to go
first.
first.
So a lot of these guys are taking 2 tires on their pit stop. No big surprise there. We haven't really gotten that far in this race, so not really surprising to see that. As Jensen Nomina actually gets that second ahead of Thomas and Lucian. So he jumps a couple spots in the pit lane. But like you said, we're going to get you a replay of what happens to Mark Davey and Skylar Taylor in just a moment, because this was what put us under the caution for the first time here, lap 1. So yeah, he was 3 wide, and he had Taylor to his outside. I think, Nathan Meyer just pinched him into the path of the 03, and this isn't the first time we've seen that 77 instigate an incident. You flash back to Daytona a few weeks ago, he's the one who touched off the big one there.
Yeah, and that was just a simple case of everybody racing a little bit too close in a 3 wide situation. 77 came up the track, hit that 81, sent that 81 up into the wall, and there was just not enough room for all 3 of those cars on the front straightaway. But yeah, a little mild contact. I think all these cars are going to end up remaining in the race after that one.
Yeah, we do have all 42 cars still running here. They're all on the lead lap, which is good to see. We want to see as many cars finish this race as we can. But caution's out for the first time. It came out on the first lap. We're cycling lap 5 now. Riley Hooper's led them all so far. Jensen Nomina gained a couple spots on pit road, up to 2nd place. Henry Thomas 3rd. And then how about Alexa Lucian making her 2nd start of the season in that 30 car for Crossroads Racing? She's handling herself quite nicely in 4th.
Yeah, Lucian is always a contender. It doesn't matter the track type we go to. Lucian is a fantastic driver. I'm so excited to see how that relationship with the team and driver does develop over time. So far, so good, though, for them, it seems. And, this is an interesting situation that we have. Lights are out on the pace car, so this is the final caution lap that we'll have for this one. But there was some interesting strategy. I really like the strategy from that 62 team. They're sitting there in 2nd place. Get out of ahead of everybody. Fast pit stop right there. 2 tires. You need all the points you can get if you are Jensen Nomina in this race, because you're sitting there +2 on the cut line right now for the playoffs. So yeah, a 2nd place finish would be absolutely massive for that team. Fantastic pit stop, goes a long way in this one, especially after leading into a single file restart.
I think one of the big losers on that cycle was Ryan Griffin in the 92. He's going to restart outside the top 20 here. I think that's because he took 4 tires on his pit stop. So he's giving up track position for a little bit better grip and handling in this race. I'm curious to see how that will play into his favor or not. But as we head off through into 3 and 4, pace car's getting ready to pull off. We're getting ready to restart this race.
Yeah, Ryan Griffin feeling a little bit safe in the playoffs right now, but you can never be too safe in this game. So I'm not sure about that 4-tire strategy. We'll see how it plays out. Here's the restart.
It look like Thomas and Lucian already trying to pull to the outside of Nomina before maybe crossing him under going into turn 1. Everybody riding the top of the racetrack. Thomas cuts low, trying to get past the 62 as we head off turn 2.
Speedway is fast so far on both starts of this race, the start and this restart. The 12 has been absolutely flying, now going for 2nd place again to regain that position that was lost in the pit stops. Maybe not going to work out off the corner, just not enough room. And Nomina now chases down the leader, Riley Hooper, who didn't get as good a start as he did on the initial start.
And how about Cody Goforth in the 01? He entered today as the points leader, started all the way back in 13th. He's now running in the top 5. So great run for the 01, and he needs it in order to lock himself up a playoff spot and potentially get him closer to that regular season title as well.
Wow, and look at this, a big move from the 62 all over the bumper of our leader, Riley Hooper, down the front straightaway now. Nomina is absolutely chomping at the bit, trying to get the lead, and there's the move down into turn 1 on the inside, trying to squeeze low, and he's going to come up off the corner. They'll be side by side down the back straightaway.
The question now becomes, who does Thomas help down the back straightaway? He thought about going with the 69. He's going down to try and help the 62. Move Jensen, Nominus to the lead of this race on lap number 9. And Thomas is going to follow him through up to second.
Wow, so 2 cars pass our leader in the turns 3 and 4. So the 69 probably is feeling like he wishes that caution hadn't come out. He had such a big lead, and everybody was fighting side by side and 3 wide behind. Now he's sitting in 3rd place. We'll see if he's able to recover. He so far hasn't lost any more positions, so that was just a great move from the 62, the perfect timing, and I think that car is really strong today.
Speaking of cars I feel like are going to be strong today, how about that 7 of Kanalka? They started back in the 29th spot. It's only taken them 10 laps to crack the top 10.
Yeah, and that's another situation just like Nomina. Needs a big day today, only +3 on the cut line going into this race. So Kanalka, a fantastic start to this race. Hopefully it continues for that driver. And now we had a battle briefly for the 2nd position. It was Riley Hooper trying to retake that spot away from Henry Thomas. It wasn't enough, and now is under challenge from behind. In the wall a little bit.
That was Goforth up into the wall. You're going to see that a lot here in Kansas. These guys going flat out, trying to make things happen. As we got another caution on the speedway. This one looks to be for a bigger incident.
Oh, no.
Big contact. Williams and Mark Davey again.
That is tough to watch. Wow.
A scary incident there for Mark Davey in his 2nd accident of the night. Logan Williams in the 83. He entered today top 5 in points. That's probably going to change after this race. And I saw a host of other cars back there also caught up in this.
Yeah, Logan Williams able to afford in the points crash like this that will almost certainly end his race.
But Robert Weaver sure can't.
No, he definitely can't. Robert Weaver was -2. He was sitting in 13th on the end of this, or heading into this one, so that's going to be a really big blow for Robert Weaver. And just hoping that everybody is okay after this one. That was a hard couple of hits, especially for that 83 car and the 81.
Yeah, I counted 4 cars in that, so hopefully they're all okay. They're at least driving, some of them driving it back. Weaver and Claire are. And that seems to be warranting another round of pit stops for these guys. So everybody coming back down. Weaver is coming in to retire from the race. Everybody else looking for routine service here.
And we'll see what everybody does here. Last time they took 2 tires. This time I would expect probably a lot of the same. Maybe change those other 2 tires. But you did run about 8 or 9 laps green flag there. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe some people take 4 tires. We're about to find out.
Yeah, we're looking, and Nomina is the first one we're probably going to see. Yeah, he's taking 4. Looks like Cooper might. Yeah, Griffin's taking.
Okay, Elijah Ironhouse, though, is going to gain a lot of spots. So is the 44.
Yeah, Monaco. I think Brian Griffin also took left side tires there. So Monaco is going to inherit the lead coming out of this pit stop.
Wow.
Elijah Ironhouse second, then Nomina. But yeah, a bit of a strategy call here, but at the expense of these guys back here that were really caught up in a hefty incident here in this race. I'll get you a replay of it very soon indeed. That was scary stuff. Does it start here, perhaps, with Logan Williams in this 83? No, it starts a little ways ahead of him. Aiden Clare got spun off the bumper of Mac Johnson. He comes back up in the traffic. Big impact there.
Yeah, nothing you could do there. And this is where it really gets scary. Wow. Oh, my gosh. Just bounced right off the wall. The 83 car took 2 big hits, and especially that 81 also completely destroyed after that. Just nowhere to go. Everybody was holding the brake there just so fast on the front straightaway, sliding through the grass. I mean, there's not a lot you could do to save that one.
And keep in mind, Williams and Davey, they were supposed to pull double duty in this weekend, so big stuff for those drivers. So we're looking at Aiden Clare right here. He was racing Austin Scott, and here comes Matt Johnson up the inside. I think Johnson's going to wash up the track into Clare, and they just get hooked together. And on this slick grass, there's just not a lot of room for braking. And then Williams with a big shot, and then here he just gets bounced off the wall into Mark Davies' path. Aiden Smith with a very lucky escape.
Yeah, just a really bad timing on all of that. And like you said, you get onto that slick grass and the brakes become completely ineffective. You're sliding and you're a passenger at that point. There wasn't enough time on the asphalt to get that car slowed down enough to avoid coming back up into traffic. Just a really tough scene.
the accident, trying to slow down. Williams, though, oh,
wow. Oh, wow. That is incredible, splitting the difference. I mean, yeah, that's highly lucky, benefiting from some highly unlucky drivers ahead.
So Aiden Smith lives to fight another day in that 23 car. Elijah Ironhouse is your leader after this caution, and we're looking to try and find our other car that took 2 tires, Eric Monaco. He actually, he took 2 tires. He was going to be the leader of this race,
Yeah.
and we're getting word that he has a mechanical failure under yellow that put him out of the action.
That is extremely disappointing after a great strategy call. I was about to talk about it. We're going green right now, but Elijah Ironhouse, the only one going to benefit. 2 tires on lap 14 to gain a bunch of track position for a guy on the bubble. I think that's a great move. We'll see how much it plays out.
Yeah, and he needs the points. He got one for leading that lap. But the question now remains, can he hang on with Nomina and Ellison back there, Cody Goforth, Ryan Arnold back there? This is going to be very interesting to see for the rest of this race. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Nomina tried to get a move under Ironhouse. Doesn't quite have it in him. Keon Daly knocks the wall down a little bit out of the corner as Riley Hooper, the pole sitter, trying to find a way back up towards the front.
Yeah, and you know, so far, this strategy, that 2-tire strategy, is working out. I don't know how long it will last, but with the way that the cautions have been falling, wow, they're 3 wide for second place. But I think that hopefully that 8 car is going to be able to recycle with all these guys from within the top 5. We'll see how that plays out. And that was an incredible move. Riley Hooper went low, 3 wide, and it puts the 31 up into second place.
And remember, James Ellison in that 31, he's had a rough couple of races since his New Jersey Motorsports Park win. He had a flat tire at Darlington, a crash at Daytona, set him really far back in the points. He's the one who really needs a lot of points today. And this has been going to be a very good run for him, but Hooper and Thomas already starting to find their way past.
Yeah, Nomina really falling back through the field. I wonder if that car either just got in the dirty stuff on the track or maybe he brushed the wall a little bit, but he is falling back in a hurry in this race. He was running in the 2nd position. Now he's running all the way back in the 7th position, and they're side by side for the lead. It's Riley Hooper trying to regain the top spot over the Elijah Ironhouse machine that only has 2 fresh tires. After the last pit stop, it looks like Hooper is easily going to make the pass in turn 3.
Yeah, so that worked out for a little while for Elijah Ironhouse, and I still think it was the right thing to do, get him the bonus points and everything. But it's Riley Hooper who leads this race right now, and I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out now, because I think this 69 has a really good car. It's just a matter of, can he keep it there all day?
Yeah, I think that the 69 might be one of the best cars out in fresh air that we have. But you know, if you're in traffic, if you fall back like we saw in the last run, he just wasn't able to make any moves. So we'll see how it goes. But right now, looking really, really good out the windshield of the Riley Hooper machine.
Don't look now, though, but Keon Daly's starting to make his way up into the top 5. He's currently passing Henry Thomas for 3rd. And look at this 24. He started back in 15th. Look at the run he's getting out of turn 2 here.
I wonder if those 2 tires really are falling off quickly for Elijah Ironhouse, or if he maybe just missed that last corner. But I think that as long as he stays within the top 5 or top 10, this strategy will pay off for him, as long as there's a caution that would allow him to recycle and match everybody else's strategy. We'll see how it goes, but you're right, the 24 car looking really quick right now.
And another car on the charge, that 98 back there, Cam Stevenson, he started back in 33rd, and it's only taken him a third of the race to get up into the top 5. Remember, he's out of a ride at Jeff Bolton Racing next year, looking to audition for a future ride elsewhere, and he's doing a really good job. He's the highest running Ford at the moment.
Wow, yeah, great job from Stevenson. An outside shot to possibly break into the playoffs. It's not looking great with his points position. He's sitting in 20th right now, but if he could put together a couple of wins or a couple of top 2, 3s, you know, he could be sitting in a really good spot to possibly take advantage of some others having trouble like Robert Weaver today.
Meanwhile, back here, we've got a huge hunk of traffic back here. Kev Shearer, John McFadden, Austin Scott, and a few others back here. They're all dicing it up as it looks like the 32 caught the wall there. Tiny bit out of the corner. Looks like he'll be okay, though, as Stevenson dives underneath this 10 car, Ryan Arnold.
Yeah, Stevenson still looking really good. And look at this, a battle for the lead now. Daly is trying to take it away from Riley Hooper on the bottom, and Elijah Ironhouse is taking advantage of those two being too wide in the draft right there, and he's pulled right up behind them. So this battle continues on through turns 3 and 4. The 24 sneaks up there, closes the door, gets the job done, and is going to lead the lap this time by. Wow, a great job from Keon Daly.
To the lead goes Keon Daly, making a return to the Superstar Series this season after several years in the Nitro National Cars. He's got a couple wins down here. He's moonlighting a couple races this season for JHM Racing, but meanwhile, behind him, Ironhouse, well, maybe a bit of drafting help from Cam Stevenson, trying to find a way around. Doesn't look like it's going to work.
Yeah, that's okay, though. I'm pleasantly surprised. Whoa, the 05 really hit the wall right there, and is now going to lose a bunch of positions on the front straightaway. But yeah, Elijah Ironhouse on that two-tire strategy. Looks like maybe the tires are evening out under this, what has become a little bit of a longer run, the longest run we've had under green flag today.
Yeah, so far so good for Elijah Ironhouse. He's got the track position. He's doing a good job holding on to it. And I think you're right. The tires are starting to even out a little bit here as we got the two teammates, Scott and Thomas, trying to fight their way past John McFadden in the 27. Of course, we know he's going down to the Truck Series next year for Express Motorsports. So he's looking to get a little bit of Nitro National success before it's all said and done for him. As Hooper washes up the track, Ironhouse goes with him. That elevates the 98 to second.
One heck of a battle we have for the second place. Keon Daly is loving it from the front position right now. Everybody side by side behind, except for Cam Stevenson, who has made it through at this point. But yeah, was allowed to get a big lead over everybody. It's a half a second ahead for the 24 car now. And look at this, they're 3 wide back a little bit. Elijah Ironhouse got stuck behind Riley Hooper, who is dropping back in a hurry right now. And he has fallen back several spots as well. And look at this, it's just a gaggle of cars in the back half of the top 10 right now.
Yeah, but I think Cam Stevenson in that 98, he's starting to get closer to Keon Daly. That 98 could be an actual contender for this win, even though he started all the way back in the outside the top 30 in this race. He's already cut the gap in half between himself and the 24. This 98, I'm not so sure he couldn't be a big contender for this by the time it's all said and done, because we're closing in on the halfway mark.
Yeah, as soon as he broke out of that 2 wide, 3 wide situation that they had briefly there for the second spot, he has started to gain time big on the 24. You know, when these cars get side by side all the way around this track, they punch this massive hole through the air, and they are just not able to break out of that very easily. So they'll go a lot slower with a lot more drag between the two cars, and that's why you see a lot of the time. Oh, and we got a caution on the Speedway. Riley Hooper involved.
It's got to be for Riley Hooper because he's now running in 36th place.
Oh, boy.
Something amiss with the 69. He must have got spun around somewhere. And maybe
Ryan got damage in the rear end.
Maybe Ryan Griffin, too. He's back in 33rd.
Oh, my goodness.
But once again, this is going to bring everybody to pit road, and I think this is the caution Elijah Ironhouse was hoping for, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely probably would have been hoping to be a little bit higher in the running order, but you know, with all the chaos that happened in the top 5 a little bit there, you know.
Beggars can't be choosers here, of course.
Yeah, definitely good though. We'll see. He probably will take 4 tires here. I'd expect everybody to take 4 tires based on what they've been doing earlier today. So we'll see how that all plays out, and then we'll also, after this pit stop cycle, we'll get a replay of what happened to Riley Hooper. I'm very curious to see because I missed it there. So we'll see what happened to him. That's going to be interesting. That car was really fast. We'll see if he can make a charge through the field.
I think Jensen Nomina might have been caught up in that as well because he's got
does look like it.
Good bit of damage on that 62 machine. Cam Stevenson's going to win the race off pit road though from Keon Daly, who has a little bit of damage on that left side.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, so Riley was free-falling down the field a little bit here. He's running just inside the top 10, I think. I think it's going to start just a bit ahead of him. Nomina goes really high, Hooper with a good run, and then they just get together there.
Wow. 2 really fast cars and one that really needed a good result, Jensen Nomina. And I'll tell you what, that was just in the high stuff, a little bit too high through turns 3 and 4 there for the 62, but I think there may have been a problem with the 69 car. He was dropping like a rock through the field prior to this incident. Yeah. Oh. Wow. Some great camera work we've got. What a good view of that accident. Yeah, I mean, you saw it clear as day right there. The 62 just got up in the dirty stuff, got a little bit loose, wasn't able to continue at the same rate, and then it caught out Riley Hooper, who really had nowhere to go. So that was just a racing accident right there, and unfortunately took out 2 contenders.
Well, they're still in this race. They can still make something out of this. They're just going to be right at the back of the field, along with Ryan Griffin, who I think's been nursing an ill-handling race car ever since that first pit stop. I think they spent an extended period on pit road adjusting that car, try and make it a little better for the second half of this race. But it's Cam Stevenson from 33rd on the grid who leads right now.
Yeah, and Stevenson, again, one of those people that really needed a good day, an outside chance to possibly break into the playoffs. Boy, it would be a miracle. But you can make your own luck in this series, and this is the way to do it. Lead laps, win races, and the 98 car certainly is mathematically eligible. So we'll see how this plays out for the 98, but has been very fast today and has some very fast cars behind him. So it's going to be a good race from here to the end because we still got just a little bit more than half this race remaining. And Cam Stevenson now out front with the 24 behind, and single file restart. If you can get a good one, you might be able to spend a few laps out front and work on your defense. See how that car handles in clean air.
Keep in mind as well, Keon Daly's got damage on that car. He might be a bit slower now for the rest of the evening. But Stevenson leads us back to the green flag. We're racing once again, and Daly immediately jumps to the top of the racetrack. He might already be able to tell that car is not handling like it did before, as Ryan Arnold immediately sweeps past, and Kev Shearer going to follow him through.
Yeah, look at that. Ryan Arnold now to the bottom on the back straightaway. So Cam Stevenson really didn't have that good a start. He didn't have anybody behind him to give him a boost there, because Keon Daly is suffering from that door damage that's probably parachuting that car a little bit, slowing it down. As you can see him drop through the field now, he's got damage on the right side as well. So that is going from bad to worse for Keon Daly. Unfortunately, a fast car now falling back, and we were almost three wide for the lead, and it's the 20 now that has gone to the front of the field.
Kev Shearer, of course, looking for his first win in the series since Gateway back in the spring. It's been a long time for Kev Shearer, even though he's shown some very strong performances since then, and he's been running really good in the points. He entered today second in the points, so he has an opportunity to lock up a playoff spot with his performance here.
Yeah, all tied up for the second position in the point standings, and it's a well-earned position in the standings. But here's Cam Stevenson has landed back on his feet and now going for the lead. At this point, we're seeing the 62 and the 69, just not a lot of speed from those vehicles anymore. So that's an unfortunate circumstance for them. A lot of good stuff in the first half of this race. It won't be the same in the second. And the 31 has followed Cam Stevenson through to first and second place now, ahead of Kev Shearer.
Yeah, and James Ellison, like we said, he needs a good day. Back-to-back finishes outside the top 30 for him. Remember, a flat tire at Darlington, a crash at Daytona has really put him behind the 8 ball, and if he's going to make the playoffs in his last season before moving up to the Superstar Series, he really needs to start finishing in the top 5, preferably in the top 2.
Yeah, and honestly, this is a really, really good run. I mean, we've got Robert Weaver, Jensen Nomina, who are struggling in this race so far, who are ahead of him in the points. He's only 12 points out of the playoffs going into this race. So that 31 car running in second place right now, that is a massive day. He's got to keep it together, though. We've seen contenders fall out of this race before. It doesn't matter if you have a fast car. It doesn't matter how fast that car is. You could get caught up in something. We saw it with Hooper. We saw it with Nomina. So this is going to be interesting to see if the 31 can stay out front in that top 5 to try to capitalize.
And I think Ryan Griffin's gotten the handle back on his 92 car. He's been making passes. He's up into the top 30 now. We'll see how far up the field he can get by the end of this race. We're coming up on 25 laps to go, though. And how about this run here from this 54 car, Anthony McClure? He started on the back row of the grid in 41st place, and he's now cracking the top 10 here.
Yeah, that car is really, really looking good in the second half of this race as time marches on. The 54 car just seems to get better and better, and that's fantastic news for that team. We'll see how far he's able to make it up the grid. He's about to crack into the top 5. So here's a battle for the lead, though. The 20 car of Kev Shearer looking to gain it back over Cam Stevenson, and I'm starting to think that whoever it is that's the leader, you know, earlier in this race, it looked like that clean air was a bit of an advantage for the leader, and now it's seeming like the leader has a disadvantage from the clean air because people are able to draft up behind. They've learned how to use this track to their advantage, the size, the shape, and the speed. And now the 20 car, who was knocking on the door, is now having his door knocked on by Ryan Arnold for the second position. It's going to allow Cam Stevenson to start driving away.
How about Cam Stevenson's teammate, Ryan Reed, in the 28? He's looking to lock up a playoff spot tonight. He's doing a great job in 4th spot. He has 2 wins this season already, remember, does Ryan Reed. So if he can make the playoffs, that'd be a big boost for the team.
Oh yeah, he's sitting in 8th. He was plus 21 on the cut line, so a good run today, sitting in the top 5. That is fantastic. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the 28 car.
Yeah, he won, of course, at Richmond, and he won at Darlington, both tracks with high tire wear, so maybe that's starting to play into his advantage. Maybe it's becoming a strength of his as the season goes on. But, whoa, Stevenson almost, I think he did make contact with the wall.
It looked like it did. I saw some debris come off the wall, yeah.
So Stevenson did lose a bit of time because of that, and Ryan Arnold is now within drafting distance.
Wow, that was a crazy moment. A good job from Cam Stevenson to avoid losing a ton of time. He lost a little bit of time, and he lost a little bit of durability on the right side of the car, but hey, what's it there for if you don't use it up during the race? So the 98 continues as the leader right now, but Ryan Arnold getting a big push from behind. Kev Shearer not attempting to pass him, and he's getting the pull off the back of the 98 car, so we'll see how long it takes him to get up there. You saw on the front straightaway just then, he gained a lot of time, so we'll see what happens on the backstretch.
Speaking of gaining a lot of time, Anthony McClure just passed for 4th on Ryan Reed, so that 54 is gaining a lot of time. He's looking for his first career win in the Nitro National Series, so this could be a big day for that 54 driver, and he's looking, and that could be Motar Dash Racing's first win in the Nitro National Series, and boy, have they come close on many occasions.
Yeah, and that, you know, he's got a real genuine shot at it right now, that 54 car. I mean, running in 4th place right now, coming up on these guys, if they get too wide for the lead or for 2nd place, the 54 will be right there with them pretty quickly. Look, he's in the shot. He's not that far back. And once he gets up there right behind him, he's in the mix. He's in the draft. He'll be able to make some moves. So, yeah, this is going to be fantastic to watch, to see what this 54 car can do towards the front of the field.
And we're coming up on 20 laps to go as well. There's not a lot of time left for errors here. So these guys have got to be keeping an eye out for the 54 car of McClure, because he's catching these guys pretty quick. Could we have a rookie upset win at Kansas? But we've got plenty of upsets at the front of the field right now. Cam Stevenson, Ryan Arnold to a lesser extent. Kev Shearer's been one of the favorites since the season started, but still.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Cam Stevenson's car in this race so far is just getting better and better, and now they're too wide for the 2nd place. That's Kev Shearer, who's had just about enough of Ryan Arnold not gaining on that 98 car, who has been incredibly fast. He has shown that this car so far on this run has been the most dominant we've seen anybody today. Out front, keeping that gap of about 2 to 3 tenths behind ahead of 2nd place. So, you know, nobody's been able to touch him for the last 5 to 10 laps. It's just, we'll see what the 20 can do, but the 98 really showing some muscle right now here at Kansas Speedway. It's going to be interesting to see if anybody will have a shot at him without a caution.
And boy, did he need a good run like this, because remember, like I said earlier, he's looking for a ride next year. Jeff Bolton Racing is letting him go to make room for Mac Johnson next year. So Cam Stevenson's looking for a ride, and what better way to present yourself to other teams than by winning here at Kansas?
Yeah. Well, if you bring a win with you, I mean, people's eyes are going to be opened. Absolutely. Anybody watching for a driver. Oh, boy.
And I think we've got a caution on the Speedway for good measure.
Really? Wow. So that is interesting. I wonder if that was what it was for, if there's something else. We're looking around.
We're looking. Once we find the cause of this caution, we're going to bring it to you, because you deserve to know as much as we do. Ellison did get some damage there on the right side, but I don't think that's what the caution was for.
Oh, there's new skid marks right here on the front straightaway.
And there looks to be a lot of them. So Yeah, Kanalka
Yeah,
and
there
the
it is.
7.
Oh no, Kanalka, and look at
And
that,
Nomina
Nomina as well.
and Ashton Blevins in the
Destroyed.
21. So more of our championship
Oh.
hopefuls involved in a big crash to put us under the caution for the 4th time tonight.
Wow. I am very curious to see what happened here. Weren't watching the battle up front, but that is 3, bubble drivers involved in this one. So again, for all these drivers up front,
Kanalka's out of it.
it's gonna be
Kanalka's pulled it behind the wall and out of the race.
oh gosh. Kanalka came into this race +3
And you got-
over the cut line.
And you also have to keep in mind Cameron Brennan involved in this accident as well. He was fighting to get into the top 30 in owner's points, considering he won last time out at Daytona.
Wow. This crash is going to be a defining moment in this race, possibly for a few drivers that end up out front. We'll see who gets out there.
Kev Shearer beats
Yep.
Stevenson out of the pit, so he is going to be your leader. When this
Yeah,
is
and you
all
know what?
said and done.
Stevenson came into the pits ahead of, or Kev Shearer came into the pits ahead of Cam Stevenson. I'm curious about how that took place as well. It's an interesting thing, but yeah, we're going to get a replay soon here. Wow, this has jumbled everybody up again. More interesting strategy on the pit cycle.
But all that pales in comparison to the ramifications of this big accident that seems to have taken place here. I believe this is where it starts with Kanalka. Oh, they get hit.
Oh,
They get turned
same
by
thing.
the 42.
Again.
David
In the
Messi.
grass.
Yeah.
Wow, it is so good that car stayed on the ground.
Oh,
Oh,
big impacts for Ashton Blevins, Jensen Nomina, and especially that 7 car from behind. Took some
Wow.
massive shots there. That is some scary stuff here at Kansas. Another look at this here. Malcolm was just riding in the top, trying to keep Mac Johnson from running into them. And then Meski, I don't think they saw coming in the 42. And yep, here it comes. Big shot for Nomina. And then Cameron Brennan in the 86. Nowhere to go.
no, that is just difficult to watch. I mean, the 42 came up out of the corner and just, I don't know if that car got aero tight or what, but used way too much of the track and hooked that 7 car. Was nowhere near being clear. Hit him right in the wheel, and then they went sliding in that slick grass. No way to slow down. Wow.
So that has knocked a few more cars out of this race. And we're going to have just over 10 laps to go when this race restarts, which should be in about another lap. Because the lights are out on the pace car. Kev Shearer leads this race, and we only have 34 cars still running here. They're all on the lead lap, to their credit, but we've lost some big names in this race. Jensen Nomina, Ashton Blevins, Eric Monaco, Kanalka in the 7, Robert Weaver, all guys who really needed good days today.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, Kanalka, Nomina, and Weaver, they were 11th, 12th, and 13th in the points going into this race. That is right on the bubble. There were 5 points between the 3 of those drivers. And to clear this up real quick, Cam Stevenson was minus 50 behind Jensen Nomina going into this race, who is now out of this race. So Cam Stevenson, with a win or a second place here, could give himself a shot next week to make it into the playoffs.
The pace car's off. We're getting ready for what hopefully will be the last time we see the yellow flag. Green's back out. We're underway once again. And Shearer gets an excellent launch off the line. And he is going to set sail and hope that Stevenson and the rest can't catch him.
Yeah, well, watch this. If Ryan Arnold doesn't make a move on Stevenson, all that momentum, that whole second, third, and fourth, single file, they are coiled up. They are pushing hard. Going down the back straightaway, we'll see that 98 car with a big boost of energy and momentum onto the front straightaway. We'll watch it happen here. Unless the 10 jumps low, he won't. So now the 98's going to get a big run. We'll see. He might be able to have a shot at him down the back straightaway through turns 1 and 2. He's going to gain a lot. Look at this. He goes low.
And he's bringing McClure with him, so this could be a big run for the 98. Down the backstretch they go, side by side for the lead with Shearer. And this could be the big break Cam Stevens has been looking for. He's looking for his first career win.
Yeah, that bottom line is where you want to be, especially early in these runs, because you just get a shorter way around the track. And now the 98 is out front again, and the 54 is coming from behind as well into the second position with help from Ryan Arnold and the 12 car.
We're coming to 10 laps to go this time, and Anthony McClure is trying to chase down Cam Stevenson. Both of these drivers looking for their first career wins. Could it be one of them? Or could it be Henry Thomas back there? He's looking for his first career win. So is Austin Scott. So these guys are just fighting tooth and nail for every position they can get, because they know that they're running out of opportunities.
Yeah, they're racing like this is the last lap of the race. We still have 9 laps to go in this one, but it's coming down to it here. It has been a long and grueling one here in the Nitro National Series, a little bit longer than normal with the cautions, and it is time to go for all these drivers, and Cam Stevenson is starting to drive away early in the run. We've seen this before from the 98 car. It took about 10 laps for that car to start to fall off, to start to seem vulnerable, and that's how much time there is left in this race. So they're going to have to find something. Arnold and Thomas, they're going to have to figure something else out to be able to pass that 98 car.
And another car that's made its way into the top 10, the 92 of Ryan Griffin. Remember, that car was terrible at the opening stint of the race, but they've worked on it all night long. They've gotten it into the top 10, and he's in position to lock up a playoff spot tonight. You see him in the background there in that white and orange car. But Henry Thomas now dives to the inside of Ryan Arnold. He's looking for his first Nitro National win, and his first win of any kind in an exceptionally long time.
Boy, oh boy, and you know what? That 01 car, our points leader, Cody Goforth, he's been lurking all day, hovering around the top 5, top 10 in that 01, the U.S. Army car. He's in 3rd place now, and he is always in contention in these races. He's leading the points for a reason. He's a fantastic driver with a fantastic team this season, and now here he is once again sitting in 3rd place, staring down a shot at a win, and especially a shot at a podium finish here at Kansas Speedway. Incredible work from that team, and we'll see if Henry Thomas has anything for Cam Stevenson in the coming laps.
And Goforth, remember, played second fiddle to Zachary DeLello last year in the fight for a championship. We know he's going to the Superstar Series next year. He is looking for a win here to punch his ticket to the playoffs, but Henry Thomas, I think, wants it more than anyone else in this field. He has been waiting an exceptionally long time to get back to victory lane, and he is now only about 5 or 6 laps away, and Cam Stevenson ahead of him from reaching that goal.
Ev Shearer on that restart, he was left out to dry on the outside lane. Everything else was going on, so we kind of just watched him fall back. But that 20 car fell back several spots, and now he is back on the rise again. But they are fighting for this second position. They are fighting just for the opportunity to try to go and get that 98 car. In the meantime, he is driving farther and farther away. They have to get single file and start drafting with each other to try to catch him. That's the only way they're going to get there, because with their side-by-side or 3 wide, they're not going to do it.
Look at Lucian down on the inside. Alexa Lucian in her comeback tour with Crossroads Racing, trying to get a win for the team and for herself, for trying to get her first win in a while, but she's fallen back a little bit into the clutches of the cars behind her. But Cam Stevenson, like he said, is stretching out his lead, although now that Ryan Arnold is clear, he might be able to start to try and track
one in the wall.
And I think that was
Thomas hit the wall hard.
The 12 into the outside wall. That's going to hurt him quite a bit.
Yeah, that's going to be tough for the 12 with so few laps remaining. I'm not sure.
Oh
my goodness, we got 4
cars upside down in that one. That is going to end this race under the caution flag. Cam Stevenson, your leader, but that may be the biggest incident I've seen all night.
Wow, that is incredible. There were 4 cars upside down all at once, bouncing down the front straightaway. You're right. That will end this race, and that is a horrible way to end this race. We had such a great battle going on. Hopefully all those drivers are okay. Cam Stevenson, pending making it to the end without a mechanical failure, will be the winner. A huge win for Cam Stevenson, but wow, all those drivers involved in that crash. We're going to have to take a look at the replays of this one, because that is incredible. I haven't seen something like that in a while. Wow.
Yeah, you saw Stanley Andrews making making an appearance for Robbers Racing. He was having a quiet day. It's very much over now. Braden Varga in the 0. Yep. He was trying to stay out of trouble. He's been caught up in it. John McFadden in the 27. We had talked about him a little earlier. Keon Daly, he was having a great day up until the late stages. Bronson Minnick in the 32. And we're going to get your replays once the checkered flag flies, because we don't want to miss anything here. We'll get you those replays once everybody pulls it back down pit road after the race. But how about Cam Stevenson? He started 33rd today, led the most laps today, and he is going to inherit a first career win today.
And a well-earned first career win, too, from Cam Stevenson. Like you said, started all the way in the back, was able to avoid that lap 1 or 2 incident with Mark Davey. I mean, started right between the cars that were involved in that one, so a lucky escape there for the 98. Made it up through the field on speed, really, and has now placed himself in a great position. Of course, I'm so hesitant to say that that this is his. He has won it because we've seen people not make it to the end of the race from under caution.
Yeah,
so
Mahendra can remember that very well.
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
Las Vegas a couple of years ago.
but unfortunate for
How about John McFadden? He's actually
Mahendra.
trying to nurse that car to the finish. Look how damaged it is.
Good McFadden. Good job to try to make it to the end of this one
I don't think
with
he's
a
going
very
to,
damaged
though. I
car.
think he's going to pull it down, but he just wanted to cycle another lap here to make it ahead of all the cars he crashed with.
Yeah.
As the white flag comes out, and Cam Stevenson has only a lap left to go, and I know this is not the way he wanted this race to end. I'm sure he would have wanted to cross the finish line at top speed. But there was no other option. After a crash like that, the caution had to have been thrown.
And Cam Stevenson, I mean, this is not an accident that 98 car is out front. I mean, we never know what would have happened in the last 4 or 5 laps of this race had it gone green. But chances are Cam Stevenson would have kept the lead in this race. That car was so fast on the short run. A well-deserved win from the 98 car. Cam Stevenson, that whole team, they brought a great piece this week. They've given themselves a shot to make the playoffs, and that's all you can ask for. Just about maximum points day for the 98. I don't think that he had the fastest lap, but I'll tell you what, it's an incredible drive, an incredible driver, and very well done from that 98 crew.
Looks as though we got one coming down, and it's Ryan Reed, his teammate. Something's amiss with the 28. He's going to cross the finish line on pit road, but coming across the start-finish line on the racetrack, it's Cam Stevenson, first career win for the 98 driver, and boy did it come at a time he needed it most.
Yeah, very well done. As I said, I mean, a fantastic job, well-deserved, fast car today, and that's probably the result that would have occurred under the green flag anyway. So I don't think anybody is going to take issue with that one by any means.
Ryan Reed had a fuel pump failure on the final lap. We said it could happen. It just happened to the other Jeff Bolton racing car. Drops him from 7th to 15th at the finish.
Yeah, they are wiping sweat off their brows there. It wasn't the 98 car that had the fuel pump failure.
Well, Tim Shearer also brings it home second. He locks up a playoff spot, as does Cody Goforth, finishes 4th. Arnold 3rd. Thomas locks up a playoff spot in 5th, as does Ryan Griffin in the 6th position. Alexa Lujan isn't going to make the playoffs, but she had a strong day today in 7th. Anthony McClure, second top 10 of the season for him in 8th. Austin Scott 9th. And Ryan Reed's mechanical failure gifted a top 10 to his other teammate, Wyatt O'Quinn, in the 38.
Wow. So that's great. A great day, other than the fuel pump at the end there for that team. And, especially with the win from Cam Stevenson. Just very well done. A great race at Kansas. Fantastic race.
But we're not done yet. We got to figure out what happened at the end. So coming out of turn 4, is it Nathan Meyer again that causes an issue? This time with the 32 of Minnick, sending him into the grass. And then they just start stacking up big time. Man, this was a hard shot for everybody.
Got some people on the fence as well. They were all running down there below the apron, just trying to cut off this track a little bit. I mean, it's the closing laps of the race. Every position counts. And they were all cutting off the track right there, and just cars in the way, sliding through the grass again. Wow. Big
impact. This is easily the biggest accident of the night, and that's saying something considering what we've had. Coming out of turn 4 to quick lap. Yeah, Meyer just stuck his nose in again, and this is not something the officials are going to take kindly to. And then Andrews backs into him. Oh, man, yeah, you're right. Taylor went into the catch fence there, and I think Ellison did too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that, this race was ending regardless of whether the fence was intact or not from that caution, just based on the amount of laps that were left. But, yeah, that fence definitely will be needing some repair before the Superstar race, of course. And, yeah, that is tough to watch.
But that is going to do it for us from Kansas. An exciting race, sometimes for the wrong reasons, but we only have one more race to go until the playoffs start. That's going to be at Michigan next week, and we're looking forward to seeing which 5 drivers will clinch the remaining playoff spots as we head out to the Irish Hills of Michigan. So, from Duke Anzac and from myself as well, we say goodbye from a frantic day at Kansas Speedway. Cam Stevenson, a well-deserved winner, but questions are going to be had about a lot of things going forward that is going to cast a shadow, I'm sure, over a great race we had today.